Hey everybody, it's Skeeter with Snug Harbor Outfitters, and you're watching Skeeter's Fishing Report. Let's get this thing started off with weather. Hey, you're going to have a high of 7 today. Cloudy, windy, chance of snow. Tomorrow is the high point for the week at 28 degrees, 8 for a low, windy, southwest wind, 24 miles an hour. Wind chill is going to be down into the -5, -6. Wednesday, 16. Wind's going to calm down a little bit, but it is going to be -4 degrees for a low. Thursday, 14 for a high, -1 for a low, and then Friday, 18 for a high and 7 for a low. All right, Muskegon Lake. Now, Muskegon Lake's got fish in it. I want everybody to know that. I know that you're not catching as many as what you would like to be right now. The oxygen level is getting low. These fish are getting lethargic. Tactics that worked earlier in the season are not going to work anymore. You need to completely switch it up. When you're talking about big baits, fishing big minnows, fishing it real aggressive, and I've had guys standing in the bait shop saying, you got to jig this thing. You got to jig it like 6 inches to get those perch all worked up to catch these fish. You're right. That is what works earlier in the season. You got to slow it down, size it down. Fish are lethargic, running out of oxygen or lower levels of oxygen. They're slow. Take a minnow and lay it in the mud. Put it right on the bottom. Small minnow. They'll eat that kind of stuff. They're not going to eat those big jigs bouncing up and down and up and down where these things have to chase. The chases are slow. They want the food that's kind of floating through the water. They're not really aggressively chasing after things like they were a while ago. I've said the same thing like 10 times now. You guys getting it? Like it's slow, small baits. Don't go fish a spot. Like when somebody says they're getting them at the sand docks. You're right, they are getting them at the sand docks. But the guys that are getting them are not just going and fishing the sand docks. They're fishing a spot on a spot. They know exactly where they need to go, where those perch pile up, tiny little indentations. So keep your eyes open. Watch who's doing what. This is a good time to gather information, because when the tough fish are in there, like when it's tough fishing, this is what separates true super fishermen from your regular normal guy fisherman. It's not bad to be a regular normal guy fisherman. It's good. But right now is when you learn these super techniques to catch these fish that you don't use most of the other time of the year, but this is what puts you at the top of the food chain when it comes to being out here on these lakes catching these perch. Muskegon Lake, everybody wants perch. And people from Muskegon lose their minds when you start talking about perch. They're like, oh, the perch are biting? The perch are biting? How many perch you got? Everybody loves a fried perch. So, you've got to find those spots on a spot. 2nd Street, spot on a spot. Find the ends of the docks and find what side of the dock that they want. You find what board that they like to be on that's on the side of that dock, and that's where you fish, and that's where you're going to catch your perch. It's the same thing you go now with the bluegills. Bluegills, it's a spot on a spot. You got to be at the right place at the right time and know that those bluegills are this far under the ice. Here, let me see if I can get my fingers. This far under the ice. Bluegills, Snug Harbor, 10 foot of water, this far under the ice. So this is when you start learning tricks, like super tricks. Get out there, fish. Get out there and watch. Watch these guys and watch what they're doing. I can tell you the guys to look for, but these are the rugged boys. They're out there. The guy that you see standing off where no one else is standing, he's kind of hunched over. He's probably not even wearing gloves. He's probably got his bait in his lip, and he's fishing and consistently catching fish, and everybody else is telling me that there's no fish around. There's fish around. Here's some pictures. Take a look at these. These are from last week. Pike and walleye, Muskegon Lake. I got a lot of people calling and say, hey, Skeeter, I'm seeing big marks. I'm seeing fish chasing. I'm not getting them to hook up. What can I do? Remember, we got a lot of species of fish in Muskegon Lake, and when you're down there jigging, jigging attracts a lot of fish that will not bite. You've got suckers chasing, you've got gar pike chasing, you've got catfish and carp down there chasing when you're fishing around 2nd Street towards the east end of the lake and trying to catch yourself a walleye. A lot of walleyes are starting to move up the river already. River might be a good place to go try to catch some walleyes. But there's still a few around. We're stuck right now with juvenile fish and fish that are over 5 pounds. Those 2, 3, 4, 5 pounders are already starting to head up the river, and they're starting to think about the spring. And that's just the way it is. So it always slows down this time of year. We'll catch fish up until March 15th. We're looking for big, giant hens. Right now is to catch your trophy fish. Right now is when I've caught my biggest walleye I've ever caught in Muskegon Lake was through the ice. Right now is the time to get out there and get one. You may not get one for 3 days. You may jig for 3 days, never catch a fish, but there's always a chance, and they're out there. So if you're looking for numbers, take a trip. Head to the other side of the state. Let's take a look at some of those. So those were cool. Those are good fish, and those are from over on the other side of the state. Mixed in there was Erie fish and fish from Saginaw. So Erie's got a bunch of big hens, like Port Clinton area. Make sure that you pick up your Ohio license and go out there and catch some fish. Saginaw Bay, there's a lot of fish over there. I spent my weekend over there. I put a lot of walleyes on the ice, and so did my friends. We caught a lot of fish. We let a lot of fish go. They're there. Got to use your head a little bit. This is not Muskegon Lake. This is big open water fishing. You should be slightly intimidated by the size of that lake. It is not something where you're going to get out, load your stuff up, blow out on the lake, go to the pile of shanties, sit down, catch fish, and then fly off the lake, get back in your car and drive home. Some days it can be like that. Things that I encountered. 250 yards offshore, there's a heave pushed up 5-6 foot in the air. Some places there's a crack that's 4 foot wide that you got to cross. It can be treacherous. Use your head. Go with a buddy. Think about it. You can get out there, catch some fish. All right, everybody, that's our fishing report, and thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, and make sure you like the Facebook page. If you've got any problems, you know where to find us. Give us a call, 231-719-0759. I'm Skeeter, and I'm out of here.